along the LA River. The location that I'm at right now is pretty noisy. We are down here at the lower portion of the LA River path, and right next to the 5 freeway, the 110 freeway. But also this is a really unique site because we are at the location where the soft bottom section of the river ends and the concrete section begins. So I'm just gonna flip it over here. Let me flip the camera so we can see the lush vegetation here in the soft section of the river, and then here we've got the concrete section, and we've got a cormorant flying already for us this morning. Hello. Love the LA River. It loves you too. So I would mention that this is a pretty noisy spot on the river. We've got Metrolink across, we've got 2 freeways crossing over the river, but this is such a unique section of the river because we can see where the soft bottom ends and where the concrete section begins, and it's such an abrupt change. So I wanted to share that with everyone today. I'm gonna slowly start making my way down here. We're not only hearing the freeway and Metrolink, but we're also hearing a bunch of BlackNecked Stilts that are down here. So where are you exactly? So I'm, the closest park that I'm near is Steelhead Park, which is just up there. Over here is the 5 freeway, so it's where the 5 freeway and the LA River cross. If we go down here, you can really hear the birds chatting. There's also a great blue heron that just took off. Alright, so I'm gonna slowly start walking down. Oh, got a yellow warbler that just flew by. Yellow warblers are so bright and vibrant. I'm gonna put up a picture here. That's a yellow warbler. It just flew past us right now. They're such beautiful, bright yellow birds. A little bit of striping on their breasts, but really gorgeous birds. Okay, start walking down. We also have a BlackPhoebe here that's hanging out. Try to zoom in. There it is. Hello. Really having some breakfast right now. BlackPhoebes are fly catchers, so they like to fly through the air and grab their meal mid-flight. Again, super noisy with Metrolink here, but such a unique site right here. Also just shows how resilient nature is. You've got all the sounds of the trains across, you've got the sound of the freeway, yet we see a lot of bird species right here in this section. This little BlackPhoebe here. There it goes. So I'm also being really careful. The birds are super chatty. Just want to make sure I'm not disrupting them too much. But I'm going to try to get a little closer to them. This is a really great view of the BlackNecked Stilts, particularly because you can see how long their legs are. There they are. I feel like you can never really see how long their legs are when they're in vegetation, but here on the concrete section of the river, you can really see. Look at how long their legs are. So these are BlackNecked Stilts. They're super chatty this morning, and there's a whole bunch of them. So there's a few back there. You can see them. There's a few over here. And they're really loud. You can really hear them. There's a bunch here. And you find a bunch of them here because, oh, wow. Bad. You find a bunch of them here because the water level is a little bit lower here. This is the transition from soft bottom to concrete, and it kind of resembles a bit of a mud flat. There's sediment that gets accumulated here along the concrete, and these birds like to wander around mud flats because they're able to get some food in the mud and feast a little bit. And that's why they have such long legs, so that they can just wander through the mud flats while they're searching for their food. So you see a lot of them here in this section because this transition area mimics these mud flats that they're normally found in. And then you can see here the soft bottom section. And I think we have a family of Coots over there. You can see Mama Coot is out in the front here, and then the babies are to the left of her. And Coots, people always think like, oh, they look like ducks. But Coots are all black, and then they have a white section on their face, and they also have the craziest feet. Let me see if I can try to pull up a picture of their feet. It's way in my photo album, but they have like semi-webbed feet. I think they call them lobed feet, and what that means is they can extend the webbing on their feet when they're in the water so that it's easier for them to swim, and then when they come out, they kind of bring the webbing in so that they have more of like claw-like feet instead of the webbed feet, so it helps them walk better on land. So really remarkable birds that I think don't get enough credit sometimes. People always think, oh, they just look like black ducks. But they're really cool birds, and you see them quite often here along the river. Let's see. Okay. Oh, here we go. So this is what the Coots' feet look like. Really crazy looking feet. And these are the kind of the lobes that I'm talking about. Like, they're able to make them thinner or expand them, whether they're in the water or out of the water. So really crazy. Let's see. Okay. Get out of the pictures now. Have to scroll all the way back. There we go. So I think the BlackNecked Stilts have now wandered further downstream. Few of them still here. So this area also, because the accumulation of the sediment here, we can also find a lot of cool macro invertebrates in the water. And those are just like different aquatic insects that we find here in the river. Maybe we can walk over here and see kind of cool stuff we can find. Yeah, the BlackNecked Stilt, super chatty. Hello. Look here, water, see what else we can find. So again, really interesting section here with the freeways. The confluence of the Arroyo Seco is just downstream from here. And then just behind us is the soft bottom. Just really shows the difference and how lush the soft bottom is and how much life it provides, how much of a thriving ecosystem a soft bottom section can support, and why we continue to advocate for the river to look more natural, to function as a river, to be able to support life for animals, but also a healthy life for humans as well. We all benefit from this. So it's a little noisy down here, so I'm gonna start wandering a little upstream here. But this week is a particularly special week. It is Latino Conservation Week, and there have been a lot of great programs and a lot of great different virtual events and activities happening throughout this week, and really highlighting the Latino culture, different Latino environmentalists and conservationists who are involved in the environmental movement. And we've been able to share a few of those stories, as well as Liliana from our team shared some of her stories, her story as well, being involved in the river movement and the general environmental movement. And so I wanted to take this time to share a little bit about myself. I identify as a Latina. My mom was born in Honduras, and my dad is a native Angelino, but is descendant of Mexico, so half Honduran, half Mexican. And I didn't really grow up being in the outdoors. We didn't really do a whole bunch of camping or hiking when I was younger. And recently, my dad did ask me, he's been following my Finding Feathered Friends segments and saying, how did you get into this? We never went out hiking. We've never done birding before. Like, how did you get into this? And, at first my reaction was, well, I really love learning. I love exploring. I love discovering things. And when I learned about the different ecosystems, when I learned about birds and plants, I was in such awe of everything. And I wanted to learn more and more about that. And then I studied it, but when I was really reflecting about it, I thought, being connected to the environment, being connected to the river that runs through the city that I grew up in, it's part of my roots. And I'm gonna flip the camera here. And I say that it's part of my roots because I talk to my mom and my family who grew up in Honduras, and they share with me some of their fondest memories of being in Honduras, and they always share with me the river that ran behind their aunt's house and all the fond memories they have of swimming in it, playing in it. They used to go on horseback rides along the river, and them sharing all of those really wonderful memories that they have of Honduras, and it revolving around the environment, around their river, and realizing that that's part of who I am, that's part of my roots, is to be connected to the environment, be connected to the river that I grew up alongside, and also reflecting on how sad it is that I didn't even realize it was a river until I was older. You just see it as this weird concrete thing that sometimes has water in it that you're not allowed in, that's fenced off, and you just kind of walk along it, or you drive over it or alongside of it. And it just shows how important the work that we do at FoLAR, and just the work that everyone does around the environmental movement of connecting people to nature, because it's all part of us, and we've somehow been removed from it, but it's part of us no matter what. And I think the first environmentalist I ever met was my grandmother. She's the best environmentalist. If you open her refrigerator and you see a margarine tub, you open it up and inside is the leftover rice from yesterday's lunch. Or you look at the dining room table and you see a tin can that has cookies on the outside of it, and you open it up and inside are all of her sewing materials. So always reusing things, never leaving anything to waste. That's definitely always been a part of my family and within our culture. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that in celebration of Latino Conservation Week, and to share stories. I think today the hashtag is diversifying outdoors. So continuing to remember that, although Latinos maybe aren't always considered environmentalists or conservationists with that exact title, it is part of our roots and it is who we are. So just celebrating that, and sharing those stories. So I'm gonna keep walking here, and I am going to see if one of the many pocket parks are open here along the river. In this section of the river, you have a bunch of different pocket parks, and so we can go and try to check it out right now. There's nice birds there, and we partnered with Debs Park Audubon Society wants to do some native plant restoration project here. We were planting different plants with volunteers, and Debs Park does a lot of work here. So they've been doing great work to help create more native habitat for the birds. So here is, I'm just gonna flip it around here. Here is Steelhead Park. People were asking where I am exactly. It's kind of hard to say where I am when I was down there by the freeway, but the closest area to where I was within the channel is Steelhead Park, with the gorgeous oak tree here, which provides great habitat for some of the birds, as well as some of the native plants that have been planted down here. A lot of beautiful native plants that are here. So we're going to keep walking just a little bit, try to see if we see any birds. There is a lot of Arundo down here. You can see, kind of looks like bamboo. right here, like all of this here. This is all a non-native plant called Arundo, and it grows and spreads like crazy. You just see it everywhere. You can see how tall it is as well. A lot of it here. Trying to do a lot of work to figure out what's the best way to remove it, and how do we remove it in a safe way, as it does take up space from native plants. It takes up resources from native plants that could be growing in this section. Okay, I see 2 birds down there. I need to get my binos out to see what we've got down there. Oh, we have a snowy egret going above us right now. Nice. Let's see, where did those birds go? Well, lost the birds because I got distracted by the other bird, but that's what happens. Oh, here we go. Now I see them. Okay. We've got some California towhees down there. Oh, I think it already went. Oh no, there it is. It's hopping around. Towhees are, you always find them down on the ground, hopping around. If you're ever hiking, sometimes you can hear some noises in the bushes. And you're like, what's that? And then you look and it's a towhee just bouncing around down there. Let's see. And we'll just walk down here to the end. It's a little overcast today, but really lovely. It's not so hot. I think the birds are probably enjoying that as well, getting a little break from the heat. I do hear some birds. You know, this is a eucalyptus tree here in front of us, and even though it's not native, I've noticed that lots of birds like to hang out in the eucalyptus, especially during migration season, which just passed. You got a lot of birds in there just munching while they take their break before they keep migrating up north. I see a bird down there in the still water. Try to get closer so we can see what it is. Actually, oh, it looks like a coot. It's a coot day today. Over here. Section of the river is really lush, full of vegetation, thriving with lots of birds and insects and fish. Yes, even fish in the river. So just a reminder, the river is quote unquote open right now. We're in the middle of the recreation season. Unfortunately, there's no kayaking happening during this rec season, but you can still come out and do some birding. You can still come out and do some fishing, and still enjoy the LA River. Obviously, doing it in a safe way with practicing social distancing as well as wearing a mask. I'm just trying to see how close I can get to this coot right now. feel like you can even kind of see its feet from here. You can kind of see the lobiness. Nice. Wow. Coots really letting us get really close. Hi. Hi there. Very cool. Wow. Usually the coots are always so far away and in the water swimming around, so this is cool that we can just see it hanging out. Hope it's doing okay. Looks pretty mellow right now. Let's see, there's another bird. Oh no, it didn't fly. Here we go. Need my binos to see. Oh, there it goes. I think that's a house finch. Let's see. All right. Well, I think we'll end it with this coot here. Coots wishing everyone a happy Latino Conservation Week. Oh, there it goes. Now it's swimming. Hi. I hope everyone has a lovely and safe weekend. Oh, we've got a big bird up there. Big, loud bird. But hope everyone has a lovely weekend. Thanks for joining, and see you virtually on the river again soon.